Are the Lions the best team? They are not definitively the best team.
Well, you can finish.
Yes. Who's the best?
The Philadelphia Eagles are the best team.
Are the best team in the NFC?
Without a doubt. I have no problem saying that, and I love the Lions. I'm with you. I think the Lions are a team that has shown that they can win the football game in so many ways, and the way that they execute down the stretch shows how great of a strategist that Dan Campbell is, and also some of the risks that they take that are calculated, playing with 4 downs to get 10 yards. All of those things are good. You've lost too many good players to go beat a team that still has all of theirs. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to pick up on that. Post-trade deadline, you always look at the analysis. How is this team going to get better? Where I disagree, RC, is they're going to get some of those guys back. So I actually think they can be better a month from now because they could actually be healthier.
I feel like the continuity that the Philadelphia Eagles have built, the way that their top-end football players are playing on both the defensive side of the ball and offensively. Jalen Carter right now is possibly the best interior lineman in all of football.
Yeah.
On the back end, Quinyon Mitchell has become a star at the corner position. Cooper DeJean, a constant playmaker. Nakobe Dean taking that step up. Defensively, this team, to me, is head and shoulders above what the Detroit Lions are. Now, when you talk about the offensive side of the football, Saquon Barkley can do everything that both Sonic and Knuckles can do together.
Let me talk my shit again.
What it do, what it do. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humbly hostile host, Cassius Cliff. Before we get into this video, please like, share, subscribe, as well as comment. It goes a long way. Thank you in advance for that. But for this Week 14 matchup going against the Carolina Panthers, like every week, we have the injury report, and this one's unfortunate purely because we have good news, we have not so bad news, and unfortunate news. The best part about this, not only having Slade back, but having Skinny Batman and Slim Reapers, Smitty back is huge because that's one of our favorite players. Definitely a guy that we've been actually waiting to come back into this lineup and taking this pass offense back to where it's supposed to be. But not having Britton Covey, no Reed Blankenship, and no Sidney Brown. So that means Tristan McCullum will actually be starting. But no Dallas Goedert is probably the one that hurts the most, purely because this is a guy that has had to step up with no Smitty, no AJ, and with either of them being out, still having to battle with his own injuries. And unfortunately, with a knee injury, I don't even know how he got hurt last game with a knee injury. He's going to be on IR for the next 4 weeks. Hopefully, he's going to be healed up and ready to go by the playoffs because we're definitely going to need him for that playoff run. But y'all heard Ryan Clark talking before this video, and not even to really touch on the Lions too much. There's just no team better than us right now. And when it comes to this Week 14 matchup going against the Carolina Panthers, I couldn't think of a team on our schedule that is further apart from us, probably aside from the Giants. I mean, just look at their quarterback. Bryce Young, before this season and really early on this season, was considered a first-round bust, being the #1 pick overall. And, kudos to him for turning it around and starting to, play a little better. Now he's just playing average. And unfortunately for them, my man's confidence is about to go right back down to the gutter because you're going against the #1 defense in all of football. I mean, I don't know. I've been trying. I take this podcast thing very seriously. I really do. And I take it seriously not only because I'm a huge fan of the Eagles, but because if I told myself if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right. And I was going to try to give y'all good content and really be entertaining. And those two things are not synonymous with the Panthers. This is a team that is 3-9 and one of the worst when it comes to on the offensive side as well as the defensive side of the ball. And ultimately, when you have guys that could wreck the game, that are just freaks of nature, guys that are born on a different planet like Jalen Carter, over 300 pounds, probably standing at 6'2", 6'3", running stride for stride with Lamar Jackson is not normal behavior. And we're supposed to be concerned with a trap game when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. Even a guy that doesn't get his flowers like Jordan Davis. I mean, a guy who's helped maintain this run defense and keeping it in the top 10 when it comes to stopping the run. Holding Derrick Henry one-on-one. I mean, you saw Cooper DeJean do it, which was huge. But Jordan Davis not getting the flowers that he needs or really deserves, and him showing up on a weekly basis and making stops like this or allowing his teammates to make stops like this. Because Chuba Hubbard's a nice running back. I mean, he's having a pretty nice season. With 5 games left, he's already almost over 1,000. He's not going to have a good day today. He's going to be very disappointing because, again, you got guys like C.J. Gardner-Johnson laying the boom on a guy like Derrick Henry. It just goes to show that these guys are not only locked in, playing together, but they're physical, and they're really bullies. A guy that is probably quiet, when it comes to how it looks on tape, but really, these receivers know exactly who he is. Quinyon Mitchell's another one. I mean, he's a young rookie corner, already one of the best in all of football, allowing only 13.5 yards per game in coverage, which is the lowest amongst all cornerbacks. Has yet to allow a touchdown. I mean, the guy is a stud and has not even played a full season. And Zay Flowers is not the best receiver by any stretch, but they don't have anybody better than Zay Flowers in Carolina right now. I mean, their number one receiver has under 400 yards. And we're supposed to be concerned about a trap game because obviously we know when it comes to trap games, that's when you start to get, a little out of yourself. You start to lose your identity. The Eagles and really having Saquon Barkley in this backfield has allowed us to cement our identity, and really, we know who we are now. We're a run-first team. We run the ball the most, and we pass the ball the least. And honestly, going into this Ravens game and losing BVS, Ben Van Sumeren, a linebacker converted to fullback, I was concerned about the run game. I was concerned that we were just not going to continue to do what's been working the most. But the fact that we committed to transition the guy from one position to another to be fullback, and once he went down, we saw what we was doing against the Ravens and said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and sign an actual fullback. To me, is a sign of good things to come when it comes to the playoffs. Because if you know anything about the playoffs, you got to be able to stop the run the ball, and play good defense. And signing an actual fullback in Kerry Blessingame, who actually played fullback for the Titans in front of Derrick Henry, as well as playing with the Chicago Bears in front of Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert. This is what you expect from a team that knows exactly their identity and is doubling down on that, given that that's their bread and butter. Right now, our bread and butter is running the ball against anybody. Nobody can stop it, especially having the fact you have a quarterback that can use his legs, and you have the best running back in all of football. Why would we go against what's working the best? I mean, it would be malpractice to me. But I think if there's any game in which we can get cute and try new things, this is the game to do it. And the main guy I want to see involved in that is Devonta Smith. I mean, he is a unsung hero when it comes to this offense. A forgotten guy. Everybody knows what we have in AJ, Saquon, and Jalen Hurts. But Devonta Smith, being a smaller guy, the Slim Reaper, skinny Batman, having to carry the load when AJ was actually down and making timely plays like this, be it one-on-one or a deep pass in the end zone, or even on a simple drag route and going to the crib untouched. I feel like Devonta Smith needs to get a lot of targets purely because not only does he deserve it, this is, I think, at the point in which we need to start to uncover layers in the offense and figuring out how to unlock this demon right here. I mean, this guy is a dog. Everybody should know that by now. There's no denying that. And him not getting the adequate targets is just a product of us being a run-first team. But if anybody should be spammed today when it comes to the passing game, give the ball to skinny Batman and let him work, because that's what he does. If he's given the opportunity, we've seen it way too many times for us to be even a discussion at this point. But one thing that is a discussion point still to this day, which is unfortunate because when it comes to this particular guy, he is by far one of the weirdest Eagles haters I've ever encountered. I mean, to me, the only thing worse than a disrespectful hater is a fake supporter. And just take a listen and you'll see what I'm
I think the Eagles are hiding something. The Eagles are hiding something.
What?
Clearly they are hiding. I don't remember what it is anymore.
You want to hate.
What are they hiding? Clearly they are hiding something because why does he only pass the ball 19 times a game?
Yeah.
Like if you 250 bucks,
what you want? You want 30 passes a game? That's what you want?
No, I'm curious as to what in the world are they hiding? Clearly, the Eagles don't have full confidence in Jalen Hurts because they don't give Jalen Hurts the ball that much. They run the ball more than.
And this is what I'm talking about. Guys like Emmanuel Acho, that if I'm shady, being a Eagles legend, playing for the Philadelphia Eagles for the majority of my career, and they have like these casual Friday things where they get to wear hoodies from teams they used to play with. If I'm shady, you can't wear that Eagles hoodie around me, bro. You cannot wear that shit around me. It doesn't make sense because for me, as an Eagles fan, as someone who goes to bat for the Eagles all the time, every day, especially on Twitter, this is him commenting on essentially that same clip and him expounding on that and me responding and essentially saying winning becomes secondary and an afterthought. You're entering Stephen A. stratosphere right now because that show and guys like Emmanuel Acho pride themselves on saying that they're different from First Take and they actually talk football. So then he responds to me and says, it's not it's not secondary, it's the most important thing. I'm not even going to read my response at the bottom because at that point you can understand. Why would you say that if winning is the most important thing? And when it comes to Jalen Hurts, a guy who has more touchdowns than incompletions in the fourth quarter all season, and since 2022, he has the highest win percentage out of any quarterback in all of football. But yet you want to try to say that they're hiding him, and essentially they're trying to hide him in the offense because they don't trust him passing the ball or really with the ball at all. They trust him handing the ball off, but not actually making the passes to win the game. This is the same guy that called Jalen Hurts the MVP after leading an overtime win over the Bills just last year. I just can't do it with these kind of people because when we're going into the NFC Championship and on our way to the Super Bowl and they want to get on the bus, y'all can't get on the bus with us. We cannot allow y'all to get on the bus with us because you can't say one thing on the internet and one thing when you're on your show with the cameras is on. We can't allow this anymore. It's way too late in the season, and really, you being a former Eagle and really a Cleveland Brown, that's what you should be wearing every Friday. If you're going to wear a team hoodie, wear a Browns jersey, bro. Do not put on no Eagles gear because really, you're confusing people out here. And I'm over here just to clear it up, and I'm a guy about transparency and honesty. I'm not here with the confusion. And really and truly, this is what the Eagles have this is what the Eagles are forcing out of people. They're forcing people to act out of character and just really act out of whack. Because not only is Acho talking out of all sides of his mouth, I mean, this is what's happening with other players in the actual league right now. DeMarcus Robinson, fresh after a blowout at SoFi Stadium, catching a DUI. Deontay Johnson refusing to get on the field because he knows what we got in Philly. He said, I'll take the fine, I'll take the suspension. I'm not getting it on the field with these boys. Even a guy like Davion Clowney, which no Eagles fan has any love for, talking shit to the reporters, the Carolina reporters leading up to this game. And where is he today for this game? Not even going to be on the field. So you're writing a check that your teammates have to cash. This is what I know and I believe. Not only does the front office and this coaching staff trust in Jalen Hurts, his team, his players, his peers, his teammates, they trust him. They trust him to lead them out there, and they trust him to lead them to victory. Because when it comes to asking them, they're all saying the same things. A leader of men, a guy who's always cool, calm, and collected, and a bona fide winner. That's what the Eagles are right now, sitting at 10-2 on an 8-game win streak, but yet and still people still asking questions after saying other things just a couple months prior. I don't know about y'all, but on the Talk My Shit Again podcast, we not going for it. With that being said, I'm your humbly hostile host, Cassius Cliff. We out to the next one. Peace.